work some of the constituencies that are not so strong. And my second point, and this goes to something that Councillor Jesse said earlier, and it's about just that interaction with people, especially interaction with our comrades and ourselves. And again, I go back to the conference on Sunday in Region 6, and just to see how easy it was for us to gather in a space and have a kind of engagement that, if not properly managed, we can get a kind of different result because of the emotions at the time. You know? And so I'm imploring the comrades, and I don't think it's here in Southeast, but it is a feature of our politics. When we engage along a particular lines and we feel a kind of energy. It was a very energized, the word is festive conference, very festive. Lot of interactions that, if it's not properly managed, the next day, you know, it can be some different people interacting and not comrades. So we enter into an internal process as competitors, but we have to come out as comrades of the finish. And so that element of what we do in political organization, that human element, is something that I think we have to look at. I think Comrade Jesse mentioned that when he made his presentation. As a comrade, it's my pleasure to be here, to be among my fellow senators. The one right here, they call him the bright one in the Senate, and the one right here, they call him the tall one in the Senate. And I'm just the other one in the Senate. But I am very pleased to be here with them and to share a platform like this, because I know that sharing a platform like this is what we do as comrades in the Senate, and we want to extend ourselves to all the comrades and all the workers of the People's National Party. Thank you very much, Comrade Julian. Thank you very much, Comrade.
Thank you very much, Comrade Alan. Comrades, I'd mentioned we have some visiting councillors. Pumbles is here with our security. And it's not the man beside her, it's the lady who is the security. I acknowledged Lorraine before, but Lorraine is here for the first time in her capacity as Deputy Mayor of the KSAMC. So Lorraine, you can't come here and not say a few words. So come and bring a little greetings for us, please, as Deputy Mayor. And we're very proud. And comrades, while we haven't really spent much time talking about this, the next elections that are due are the local government elections in 2028. And we have the mayor, but we were there 2020 with the majority of the votes. We don't intend to be another 2020. We need to have a clear victory whenever that time comes. So we have to make sure our two are delivered well and strong, and then there are some others that we have to support to ensure that we get well over the 21 to comfortably return the mayor. And I say this, we are returning not become a PMP, we are returning become a work. And he is delivering. That is why we are delivering. And we have a lot of things that we can point to as achievements under his stewardship since he has been mayor. But Comrade Lorraine.
Good evening, comrades. It's a privilege to address you this afternoon as Deputy Mayor. And I thank you for acknowledging my presence. I want to congratulate Eastern Southeast St. Andrew. When I look at the organization of Southeast, I can identify with it. I remember Southeast and where Southeast has come from. We can't say today that Southeast is marginal. Southeast has built and has strengthened the constituency. And sometimes we talk about political work. This is political work. Building your organization is political work. And I want to say congratulations to the MP and his team for continuing this level of work that he has in Southeast St. Andrew. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Comrade Lorraine. We have some new senators on the block, and if you follow the, as I said, if you follow the Senate, you follow public affairs, you would have, I'm sure you have heard them both, Comrade Cleveland and Comrade Rahman. And I must say, I'm very proud of both of them. First time senators, Cleveland is a youth, I'm at 25, the youngest in the Senate, but mature and talk like big man. So I'm going to invite Comrade Cleveland to come and share with you today. Comrade Cleveland.
One to them. Well, this one is a bombshell.
Just a dig, a blue aqua, asking if you could, thank you. Let me greet you, comrades, warriors, workers, supporters of the People's National Party. I greet your Member of Parliament, the hard-working Julian Robinson, who I think would have made an excellent finance minister had Jamaicans done the right thing in September last year. Notwithstanding that, we continue the hard work. I also want to greet our mayor, the mayor of Kingston, and we hope that we are putting in the work to ensure that he gets another term in office, because one good term deserves another, and he has been doing an exceptional job, and I think we should commend the mayor of Kingston. I also want to greet my colleague, Senator Ramon Small Ferguson, and Alan, who just left. I have a lot of regard for both of them, and I'm actually quite privileged to be serving in the Senate with them and to hear the wisdom that comes from them in their respective presentations. Comrades, we have on the horizon the local government elections, which are due in 2028, February 2028 to be exact. It means that we have a core responsibility to be carrying out the political work on the ground. The enumeration process must continue unencumbered, meaning we must stop at nothing to bring new comrades into the party and to get them on the voters list. Those persons who are comrade leaning, comrade minded, those persons who have an appetite for social change and justice, we have a solemn responsibility to go out to get them enumerated and on the voters list. We also, comrades, have a responsibility to ourselves and to the party and to the mission to reclaim state power, to ensure that we maintain the unity within the party. And not just at the central party level, but the unity at the constituency level and at the divisional level. So the kind of isms and schisms that we might have practiced in the past, I urge you, from one comrade to another, let us relax those distractions and those tensions in the name of advancing the effectiveness of the team, so that when we go out there to do the political work, we are effective as a team. One hand can clap, and it means that we need the political machinery to be effective on the ground, and that requires us working together. I've always heard it, and I have found it to be true, that a united PNP is a strong and powerful organization that cannot be beaten. We are our worst enemies if we choose to go down the road of vitriol, bitterness, and war against each other. So I am urging you, from a young comrade, please let us maintain the unity and peace within the party at the constituency level and at the divisional level. If we look at the national picture, comrades, the state of the country is no better than it was in 2025. In fact, if you talk about the quality of life of average Jamaicans, it is no better than it was in 2016. I actually think it is quite worse than it was in 2016. The state of healthcare is dismal. When Jamaicans interface with the healthcare system, it acts as though it wants to strip us of our dignity as a people. That is unacceptable. We have a Minister of Health who has been in office for roughly a decade now, where the entire primary focus from his standpoint has largely been around creating a narrative which would seem as if there is a lot of progress happening in the health sector, when we know the realities that persons are dying because there's inadequacy of beds in the hospital. When you look at the education sector, my heart weeps. Of the 308 schools that are regarded to be target schools for emergency repairs, the article today said that only 45 of those schools are ready for September. It means that we're going to have a major challenge on our hands come September. I understand when I was coming up today that in one school they're preparing a greenhouse, a tent, with some sheltering over it to house the students in September. That is woefully unacceptable, comrades. And I'm not saying that I'm not sympathetic or understanding of the argument that efficiency is a challenge largely because of the number of contractors. But I also think that there are a lot of bottlenecks at the central government level. I understand that approvals to be signed off have been on decks of ministers for weeks. That is a problem which has resulted in the delay that we're seeing. We have a responsibility, comrades, to be vigilant and to hold the government to account. The People's National Party remain committed to advancing the interests of the Jamaican people. The leader of the party some days ago floated in the public domain that the party remains committed to the principles of democratic socialism. And when I went on social media, I see everybody up in arms about this democratic socialism, as if the PNP somehow never identified itself as a democratic socialist party. We never removed it from the Constitution, comrades. It is today a key element of the Constitution. In fact, I think it is in the objectives of the Constitution that we remain a democratic socialist entity. And we reserve the right to define what that democratic socialism means in the context of modern Jamaica, in the context of 2026. And they have been trying to spread a narrative that we would be opposed to free enterprise and private ownership. That is not the kind of socialism that will be practiced in 2026. The kind of socialism that we are talking about is a recognition of the fact that the wealth in the society should not be enjoyed by a select few. The wealth in the society should be shared broad-based so that everyone can participate and achieve upward socio-economic mobility. And not only to achieve it, comrades, but to sustain it. And over the coming weeks, when we have our annual conference, we will define what that is in the context of 2026 in modern Jamaica. The PNP remains committed to macroeconomic stability, to the private sector serving as a key player in growth in the economy, but the government has also a key role to play. We don't adopt the notion that government must sit by and allow private sector solely to be the major player in the economy. We subscribe to the idea that government has a critical role beyond just fixing errors when they pop up, but also to ensure that the wealth is spread and that there is social change that advances the interests of the Jamaican people. Thank you, comrades. Let us remain focused on the task ahead, and that task is 2028 and 21st.
I want to say one little thing. What about wicked tune where we released the other day, you know? Yeah, man. We're marching on to progress. It'll take life on the road, you know. You want to see labor right and dance to it too. Them love it too. Weird to piece on them.
March, we are march, march, march. March, we are march, march, march. Now we are marching on progress. Time moves only allow.
Wicked tune. Every time it play, all know, people still dancing to it. Comrades, I mentioned before, we have another senator, Comrade Ramon Small Ferguson. Young man, he is the president and chief executive officer of Barita Financial Institution. Young man in his 30s, bright gentleman, and someone who has decided not just committed to building his private enterprise, but committed to serving his country. And the PNP is proud to have someone like him in the Senate, and I know the sky is the limit in terms of what he may want to do further. If you look on him, he look like somebody you recognize? All right. And the comrades, you know, I will forever be indebted to Comrade Fenton Ferguson. And you know what? When I got elected first, and I've never said this to you, Ramon, the Nannyville Health Center was built. And let me see, is there anybody here, I think anybody there from the original, who did it from Sites and Services in 1976? You did that, Chicky? Oh, Peggy, Ashi. I don't know where you put up your hand, you just born the other day, so I don't put up your hand. And for various reasons, the center had closed down. And I was very committed to ensuring that we got it restarted. And when Fenton became the minister, I brought him there, we had a visit, and he committed to ensuring that we got the resources to restart it. And I'm very proud of what the health center is today. The number of people it serves, not just in Nannyville, but across the entire eastern part of the corporate area. And so Comrade Fenton will always have a special place for us in Southeast St. Andrew. But this young man is here in his own right. And he's a bright young man, full of potential, and I want him to come and share with you today. Comrade Ramon Small Ferguson.
I need a little extra height, right? Comrades, good evening. It is a privilege for me to address you this evening, and I want to thank the MP, Julian Robinson, for inviting me here. I want to acknowledge my fellow parliamentarians, Comrade Cleveland Tomlinson, Comrade Alan Left. I want to acknowledge His Worship the Mayor of Kingston, and councillors and comrades. Comrades, Jamaica is hurting in many different ways, right? And I think the most obvious way are the lingering effects of the hurricane, particularly on our brothers and sisters in the western end of the island. And I want to just acknowledge that, as Julian said earlier, almost a year later, it's almost a year, there are so many people who have not yet gotten basic assistance of the state, and it's a disgrace. It's a disgrace. But, you know, the hurricane, comrades, didn't cause the pain singularly that Jamaica is facing. The truth is that the economy was already in trouble, was already facing challenges for a number of years leading to 2026. The books were being balanced by financial gymnastics. Right? We were selling revenues that we hadn't yet collected. We were redirecting taxes that were being collected for specific purposes to general purposes. We were charging taxes on things that we said we were going to remove for years. Right? So the hurricane isn't the single source of the issues that we're facing. It has just made it worse. The truth is, comrades, that we live in a Jamaica today where the average Jamaican is facing a lot of hardship. Much of it, as I said, is worsened by the hurricane. But inflation, cost of living is a thing. Oil prices gone through the roof, and by extension, electricity costs gone through the roof, fuel prices gone through the roof, and that going on everything. Right? And, you know, in that context, comrades, you are expecting that this is when all of the sacrifice that us as a people would have made many years ago in the name of fiscal stability, when the PNP was last at the wicket, you would expect that all that sacrifice would be coming now to the aid of the people. After all, that's what economic stability is supposed to be about, right? It's not about being stable or being stable sake. Yet, all of that sacrifice is not showing up when people need it most. Right? The truth is, comrades, that you know we have heard for years this government claiming that they are running a responsible economy. Right? They have claimed that they are the pitchers of stability. But the truth is, comrades, that they can't claim paternity to the stability. Right? Let me just take you back a few years before I return to where we are today. In 2011, when the PNP was last elected, we inherited an economy that was at the precipice. Jamaica's credibility internationally had gone through the door. Right? We had gone to the IMF on our knees under the JLP administration of the day. And then when things got a little tricky, we lost our discipline and abandoned them. And by extension, of course, when we returned to them, it took a number of years for them to take us seriously. And in 2013, when we re-engaged with the IMF, the PNP government of the day had the discipline and the foresight to ensure that no government after it could do what the JLP did in the term before. So all of the stability that we are seeing was set from then. It was legislated. Right? Yet, after all of that sacrifice, after all the hard times and the bitter medicine, when Jamaica needs the state to intervene most in the name of the most vulnerable, in the face of tragedy, like what we have faced with Melissa, the aid is either non-existent or, for those who have gotten it, slow. So, you know, comrades, I know we want to see a better Jamaica. I know we want stewards of this country that put the people at the center. And that is what this party has always been about since its founding. And that is why I'm proud to associate myself with this party. This party is about lifting people up. Right? This party is about handing people their dignity and allowing them to build on it. And if you think about what the vast majority of Jamaicans need in 2026, it's somebody to give them a chance. Right? It's somebody to give them an opportunity to be able to sustain themselves. And if you think about the platform that we ran on in September of last year, there were many of those features. Right? You're talking about things like removing taxes on pension income, pensioners who are among the most vulnerable. You're talking about the kind of ambitious housing program that this country really needs. Worse now, returning the NHT to its true purpose and building houses for ordinary Jamaicans, not just for those who can afford more and more. These are the kind of things, comrades, that we need to be talking to our peers about. Because we will be at the polls again. As has been said, the local government election is right around the corner. So, if we are not spreading the message of our party or we're allowing other people to spread it for us, what do you think will happen? It's pure misinformation. So I'd encourage you, comrades, to remember our identity as a party. Party for the people. Right? And to do our part to ensure that that message is circulated ahead of the next time Jamaicans have to make a choice. Because I can tell you, if it wasn't apparent to them last September that a change was needed, I am sure the events of the last 10 months have made it clearer and clearer. In closing, I just want to thank all the workers of the party, and the workers in particular in this constituency, that have made it a picture of a political success for our party. And as has been said before, this is a model that we definitely need to replicate and scale and proliferate across Jamaica. So thank you for your sacrifice. And once again, comrades, I'm honored to have addressed you.
Life get tough and times get hard. Things must change in our heart. From young to old, everybody say it's time to choose a better way. And now is the time, now is the hour. Choose PNP for people power. Now is the time, now is the hour. Choose PNP for people power. Turn up the thing, turn up the thing, turn up the thing, turn up the thing.
Comrades, thank you very much. While Raman was speaking, Comrade Sarah Marshall came in, counselor, friend, and neighbor. Welcome, always with us. Comrades, thank you very much for being here to this private session. Just to say, the party's annual conference is still going to be the weekend of the 18th. There won't be a public session in the way that we have become used to it. There will be a private session which delegates are invited to, and there is going to be an event, I believe, in Westmoreland on the Sunday. The details will come out in the next couple of weeks in terms of what that is specifically. But I think the party decided, given the scale of the hurricane disaster and the fact that so many people have not fully recovered, and we have people without any assistance, that public session would not be the most appropriate thing at this point in time. So comrades, thank you for being here. Can I have a motion for the adjournment of the meeting? Moved by Comrade Pollack, seconded by Comrade Barrington. Thank you very much. You have Jamaica Rice Selector. Great committee. Acapella. You have it? Alright. Hold on. Let him have it, man. If they play it earlier enough, so I'm so fine. Alright, let us start. The trumpet has sounded, my country and all. Awake from your slumber and answer the call. The torch has been lighted, the dawn is at hand. Who joins in the fight for his own native land? Land of I pledge to be loyal and faithful, true to. Thank you very much, comrade.
One to them. Hey, this is a fake class, bad man. Yeah, man. Hey, Marky, are you already placed, you know? That's our boy. Yeah, man. You have a confidence in our victory. Them boy, they feel the culture. A vulture, them, sir. Listen what I say. We come down now. Some politicians we come down now. Andrew, you come down now. Darrell Vaz, come down now. Hey, I don't want to like wow. A full time now we go era clock out. Michelle Charles if we come down now. You let yes to be come down now.
Comrades, I'm asking you, don't leave any of the cups or the things in here. Please just take them up and set them outside.
Do your friend pull up your corruption? You think you win this election, marketing? You are get this stand when me say next thing you are go on. Some corrupt politician them pick on. I mean I can't name me no man, cause most of them do and even a corruption. Listen me, some money fill the platform. I make market G troops start transform. It's a two with dogs to ban and no by election. I do most on a certain condition.
Stand Marky G, know you a champion. Everybody wave on the right hand. Put up your fist, hey! Marky G, we don't know, so none of them not like it. See them all hype up, but that's still not spike me. Holding up, cut and cut because I love in the real. And none of them here. Oh, Marky G, we don't know, so none of them not like me. So me like a son of them, fits it all with Nike. Make how we buy the things that we don't listen no phone. And none of them here. Oh, Marky G, now what the face, car we don't check the case, tell them. Them can't help me. Tell them say I'm here on the place, cause my shield on the base. Marky G, I'm in and if I'm not 20. Tell them to stop watch me blow, stop watch me guy, stop watch me pose and politics style. Stop watch me nose, stop watch me fight. And they go with a hypocrite smile. Marky G, me don't know, so none of them not like me. See them all like up, but that's still not spite me. Cool in a cut and cut you because I love in a real. And none of them can't stop me. Marky G, me don't know, so none of them not like me. So me a go for laugh again in a me Nike. Make them know what we buy with things and we don't listen not far. And none of them can't stop me.
Time come.
Alright, no one, hey, no better. I can't touch it. I am my father, got them more.
Father, God, I made them fight me so hard. I look into you, never go right. I look into you, would just
You're good, man. Yeah, my boy.
I see the way that's on the fight.
Potter vibes from them time that till now. One Potter vibe, Dunkirk, Franklin Town, Rallington Town, one East Kingston, all Dunkirk, Franklin, Raleigh. Yeah. Yeah, my boy. Good, man. You're good, man. You're good. You're good, man. Go through. Long time we not see them people here, you know what go on. Back to you before we go to she. But I listen to you, you know. Yeah, she said we switch. I could never switch. Fumbles, walk, no switch no in my thing. But there, remember dancehall I do, you know, so I have to do my work, you see me? But once thing I go on me come round, you know. Yeah, but no switching no in the thing. Yeah, talk, me a minute now. Me a minute now, yeah, talk. You know, and all things walk on for the PMP so far, you know. All right. Yes, sir. I hold it same way. All right. So now go down and chill and go look what go on. And that them vote for down there, right? They will come off on the side to the demolish, you know, what go on. The Euro circle, they will come. The whole surrounding go round. Yeah. Yeah. So they still hold it though, PMP for life, right? Nah, give up. Yeah, people, we are going to leave now. We are going to end the live, you know, because we are going somewhere else. One more conference are going up in the hills. So we are going to leave out now. Remember to like, share, and subscribe.
Big up all of my PMP, never give up. All who still say PMP type, PMP. All who say comrade type, comrade. All who say Mark Golden type, Mark Golden. All who say one Jamaica. You see what I say? Yeah, man, London, UK, New York, the whole Caribbean, Canada. Yes, man. So big up all of my comrades. Never give up. We still out here, same way, fight the fight because local government are come up and the general are come up. So I'm your host, World Rhyme Up. We just like up the live, share it up, and then we just hold the vibe. So me I go lock off now, anytime now, lock off time now, okay? So I'm your host.